Hey everyone, it's Derek with OPTP. Today, as part of our spring training video series, we're going to focus on the hips. Now, regardless of what sport you play or activities you engage in, the hips need to be strong and stable to produce energy and power and to transfer energy throughout the body. Unfortunately, a lot of us lack stability or mobility and strength in those hips. So today, we're going to give you 2 different release exercises to free up mobility and then 2 strength exercises as well. Let's get started. Okay, so the tools that we're gonna need today include one of our Pro Soft release balls for the release exercises. This is one of our 8-inch posture balls, which is obviously larger and more firm for some of our strength exercises. I also have one of our Sank Band resistive exercise bands here that I've cut to a 2-foot length and just tied off, but you can use a loop band as well. Okay, to begin, we're gonna engage in a few myofascial release techniques for the glutes and IT band. So I've got my Pro Soft release ball here. Again, this is a soft density ball that is wonderful at releasing muscle tissue and also wonderful at avoiding a lot of pain when doing so. So I'm gonna take my Pro Soft release ball here and position it underneath one of the hips. And then what I'm gonna do is support my body with my hands, and my feet are also gonna be down here. And then I'm just gonna begin to roll it out. I'm gonna cover that whole backside region to start with here, noting any areas that are particularly tight or tense. And after I've rolled out for about 20 to 30 seconds, I'm gonna revisit those areas that were particularly tight or tense and just hold right there. And as I'm holding, I'm gonna slowly let more and more of my body weight fall into that ball, creating more pressure and helping provide a deeper release. So make sure you cover all those regions across each hip, and then we'll move on to releasing the IT band. Okay, next we're gonna release the IT bands with the Pro Soft release ball here. So I'm gonna turn onto my elbow and forearm, get onto my side. I'm gonna position the ball right in between the knee and the hip, so right along the middle part of the femur there. And then I'm gonna take the top leg and I can either flex the knee and bring the leg behind the down leg, stack it on top, or bring it in front. This is really just a personal preference. A lot of times if you do stack the legs, you'll get a little bit more weight bearing down onto your release tool to create a deeper release as well. So decide what's right for you. Either way, we're gonna take a similar approach here to what we did with the glute release, where we're just gonna start rolling, this time up and down the leg to begin, finding those areas that are particularly tight and tense. After 20 to 30 seconds, we're gonna go revisit those tight, tense areas and again, hold and let the body weight kind of fall deeper into the release tool to provide a deeper release. What I also like to do when releasing the IT bands, this position here, is stack the feet and then kind of roll the hips down and then rock them back up. This will help cover a larger portion of your lower limbs here, even getting into the quadriceps and then getting back into the hamstrings a little bit as well. So all personal preferences of how you want to approach this region of the body, but be sure that you at least follow the first segment, which is rolling up and down for 20 to 30 seconds and then revisiting all those tight, tense areas. Okay, for our 2 strength exercises, we're gonna need to get next to a wall here. We're gonna take our posture ball or some other firm tool this size that's cylindrical ideally, and position it to where you're kind of pinning it between the wall and your leg. So make sure the tool is above your knee joint here. And then from here, we've got the resistive exercise band, the loop band around the leg here. Again, I have our Sank Band resistive exercise banding that I've tied off, but you can use one of your general loop bands as well. So once we're here, the idea is going to be to kind of push those hips back, get into a nice athletic posture. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna shift the foot in slightly and drive some force out against that ball into the wall and move up onto a single leg balance. Now this is very challenging to hold this position here. It requires a lot of strength and a lot of stability in the hips. Once you're here, you have the option of holding it for time, or we can take this up leg now, drive it out and away from the body. Again, we wanna make sure that ball stays anchored. So out and away, back in, out and away, back in. And this is just a phenomenal exercise for building all sorts of strength and stability in the hips. Okay, next, from this same position, I've got the ball position between the wall and leg. I'm gonna fold the hands out front. I'm gonna abduct slightly to create even more activation across the hips. I'm gonna slightly drop into a squat and then stand back up. This one is very intense as well. It's a great exercise to create all sorts of stability and strength across the hips. It's also great for balance, so try this one for 5-10 repetitions to start. Make sure you do both sides, then you can progress using resistance or engaging in more repetitions. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching. If you want to learn more about our ProSoft release ball, our posture balls, or some of our Sank Band resistance band products, just go to optp.com. Also, remember, throughout the remainder of the spring, we've got a bunch of great videos coming at you featuring exercises, tips, and techniques for you, your patients, and your clients. Thanks again.